The Battle of the Quints is one that will last the ages and will never really have a conclusion, but I will tell you who I think is the best Quint. But what constitutes as the best? Well, who has the best arc with Futaro? Who has the best growth? And who is just the most appealing? So I'll give it to you now. It's drumroll please. Nino! I'm sorry to the Miku stans, I'm sorry to the Yotsuba lovers, I'm sorry to the Ichika appreciators, and I'm sorry to the Itsuki worshippers, but Nino is in fact the best. Before we get into the video, can I just remind everyone that this is just my opinion at the end of the day. My opinion's no better than yours is no better than mine, and there is no right answer here. So if you feel differently, comment below and we can all discuss it. When you first watch the show during season 1, Nino comes off as this bratty and just wholly unlikable person who for some reason has sleeping pills on her, which is a bit questionable, let's face it. She strongly opposes Futaro even after her sisters begin to accept him, and it seems like she's this way for no apparent reason. However, in season 1 we learn that she opposes Futaro so much because she wants to protect the relationship her and her sisters have, and she fears having him there might change it. And to me this shows how big her heart is, because of how much she loves her sisters. And although we're mainly shown her cold and bratty sides towards Futaro, the side of her heart is still shown in glimpses in season 1, such as when Futaro was about to lose his job because the Quints failed their first midterms under him, and she lied to their father about their grades so that Futaro could keep his job. She didn't need to do this considering how much she thought she hated him at the time and could have quite easily let him lose his job. However, I think she recognised that he tried his best to tutor them, and it wouldn't be fair for him to lose his much needed job because they deliberately made his life hell, so I respect her for that. We also see a softer side to her when she meets Kintaro and falls for him and acts out of character by treating him nicely like you would do with somebody that you like. I feel like with character types like Nino, we usually see them pretty much stay the same throughout the series, but maybe mellow out a bit towards the end. However, Nino shows another side to her when she meets Kintaro that we hadn't seen up until that point, which adds a bit more depth to her character in season 1. But season 2 is where her real growth happens, both in her character and her relationship with Futaro. The second episode of season 2 is where we begin to see her grow and change for the better after being stuck in her ways for the longest, when she has a fight with Itsuki and moves out. This arc makes her realise and accept that her relationship with her sisters will not stay the same forever, and that change happens whether she likes it or not, and she has a choice whether she wants to embrace this change or pointlessly oppose it in a losing battle. To symbolise Nino accepting and embracing change, we see her cut her hair short, which is usually something done when a woman is letting go of something she's held onto for a long time. I really like the way the writers went about her changing, because I can personally relate to the feeling of knowing that I have to change and accept change rather than just fearing it or rejecting it. So after this, Nino becomes a lot more receptive to him to the point where she actually likes him, especially after he saves her from drowning in the water that she jumped in the first place. And that was quite a quick turnaround for her character, because she actually realised that she was rejecting his role as their tutor and not him as a person, which to me is actually quite a mature thing to realise and further consolidates her character growth after her fight with Itsuki. And after all of this, we get to see a confession which is absolutely top tier in my opinion. Well, she first confesses to him whilst they're both on the motorcycle, but of course Futaro doesn't hear her, so she tells him later on in the restaurant. Regardless of who your favourite is, I think you have to respect the straightforwardness of her, with her no games or no BS around it all. And this was a personal favourite of mine in the entire series, because it just consolidated her as my favourite character. I remember watching it when it first came out, and I just absolutely loved that moment. I knew it was going to be really significant. And once she did confess, she was the first to be open with the rest of her sisters about liking him, and pursued him without any fear or shyness. And whilst I think it's the aggression that didn't really click with Futaro in the end, I still think it's respectable, and a lot less frustrating to watch than a shy girl trying to tell a guy she likes him for 12 whole episodes. She was also big enough to encourage Miku to go for it with Futaro when they were on the trip to Kyoto, and Miku was upset about not having the confidence to spend time with him, despite Nino liking Futaro herself, which would be like encouraging the competition, which I think was very big of her to do. So overall, why do I think Nino was the best girl? Well, I think she had the biggest heart of the 5 of them, she had the most quality time with Futaro, and the best storylines and character growth, and personally just appealed to me the most. But please, don't take this video too seriously, and who was your favourite Quint? Comment below, like the video if you enjoyed it, and thank you for watching.